In this video, I'm going to do an instructional video on how to install a Howa 1500 barreled action into our Ultradyne UD chassis. So in front of me, I have a Howa 1500 barreled action. A lot of Howas come like this, just as a barreled action, but if you did get one that comes in a factory stock, the first thing you'll want to do is remove your bolt, ensure that your chamber is safe. The bolt lever, removal lever is on the left side, and then as soon as you know your chamber is safe and empty, you want to take your barreled action out of your factory stock if there is one. And so the front action screw will be right in front of the mag well, and the rear action screw will be right behind the trigger assembly. So go ahead and get those screws removed and the factory stock popped off, and then you'll be ready to break into your Ultradyne UD chassis. And so our chassis comes just like this. Pop it out of the box, and it'll come with all of the installation hardware that you need in a little baggie. The chassis itself is just one piece. It has everything that you need installed with the mag lever. So you'll go ahead and line that up with the trigger fitting through the trigger well pocket, and then you'll see the recoil lug in the Howa will bed right up against this rear wall in the chassis, and that'll line up your action screws. And so put your trigger through, push your chassis up, and you can hear that recoil lug click up against the rear of that wall. And then you'll go ahead and break into all of the installation hardware that we send. So in the baggie, we send your action screws. The shorter of the two action screws will be the front. The longer of the two action screws will be the rear. And then we send an L key for the mag well. And so we'll show some footage on that. It is basically to loosen this set screw, and you can move this adjustable tab up and down, and that is used to set your magazine height. So if you're having trouble feeding, once you get all of this installed, that is the first thing to do, is mess with your magazine height to make sure your feed lips are just below your bolt face in order to feed properly. And then the final thing that we have is a small L key and set screw, and this set screw is for the threaded hole in the rear of the chassis. And this will be used for whenever you're installing your buttstock. It threads in to the mil-spec buffer tube threads, and you'll use the set screw to time your buttstock in order to keep it in line. So now to install the barreled action into the chassis, I'll go ahead and drop in that front action screw, and I'll thread it in just to hand tight, so that I can get the rear started as well. Thread that in hand tight, and then I like to stand up the barreled action, and I like to push one more time to ensure that recoil lug on the action is setting up against the chassis so that it is completely bedded. And then I'm going to go ahead and torque my action screws down to 55 to 60 inch-pounds. So I have my torque wrench set. Get that torqued, and then get the rear one torqued, and you're good to go. So that's how easy it is to install the Howa 1500 barreled action into an Ultradyne UD chassis. All that's left to do is install a grip, buttstock, and an optic, and you're good to start shooting.